All right, thanks, folks, for joining us again. We had battery die on us, so we will continue the interview right now.
So,
So going back to Korea then, as we unloaded the ships, we saw that Corsair do its thing, and that was my first introduction to that sort of thing. T-34 tanks, the military army was indicating that they were the top stuff.
yeah.
Marines got a hold of them and they took them out. They would let the tanks go over them, under them, come up behind them, and whatever they did, they would knock out a T-34 tank.
So they would lay under the tanks and then they would attach some sort of explosive, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
That's
my
the
job
stuff you don't hear
was,
about.
I had two guys with me, one from Arkansas. He was a corporal, I believe, at that time, and he had a couple of stripes, and of course I was PFC.
Yep.
And the other guy was Lipscomb, came out of World War II with Carlson's Raiders.
Ooh,
And so the three of us
Very cool.
were in the group with the one, the howitzers. And so wherever you go, there were at least 3 or 4 teams. And our
So
job
each
was
team
to
is
go
3.
outside and
Okay.
protect the military. Because they're not in the high ground.
right.
Yeah.
They're in the flat ground. So that was our job, was to go out there, set up barriers, set up wiring with cans, you could hear the enemy coming or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
so the different types
perimeter
of yeah.
alarm,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
But low tech.
That was our job as I hit Korea. Lippy was military. Jimmy was not. He was had not seen combat. I had not seen anything. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So, but that was our job, and the things that were going on as the South had been taken over by the North,
Yeah.
and there was the perimeter at the bottom of the peninsula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some Marines down there. I don't know how they got there or where they had been stationed there or whatever, but the military had been shoved all the way back to there, and that's when we hit Incheon.
Right.
Okay.
I can remember very vividly the big guns would, dig in, they would shoot within 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour, dig out, move down. And it was just one right after the other, 24 hours,
Wow.
constant.
That's just yeah.
And we're moving south. And of course, the North Korean military is all in the south.
So they were being pushed back north, and you were coming from north of them. So you were pretty much
squeezing them,
Yeah.
squeezing them.
Yeah.
And so I can remember very vividly at one point in time, just outside of the capital of South Korea, we got hung up.
Oh.
And we had our officers up in the front, I forget what we call them, but they were the leaders, way out in the front, giving information back to the 155 howitzers.
Yep.
Oh,
and
the
telling them
fisters?
where they would be aiming and that sort of thing like
Yeah.
that.
Kind of like the spotters for
spotters.
Yeah.
Yeah, fisters is what they call it in the army, is the
Yeah.
forward observers.
Yeah, and so then we would pack up and move on down. And so that was going on constantly, 24 hours a day. And so we're moving south, we're squeezing the north down. At one point in time, the words are coming back, we couldn't move out.
Oh.
The Big Mo is on out there. They're shelling,
Yep.
coming in
From the sea.
Yeah.
from the sea.
Yeah.
And so we're caught here, and nothing's moving. And I remember as time goes on, all of a sudden the word becomes, let's get out of here and move down. Well, if you take a 155 howitzer, that's a big goddamn shell that goes in there.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of guys to do it,
Yeah.
and then you fire that damn thing off. Now they're saying move out, man. Everything is within minutes. You're on your way. And of course, when they did that, don't shoot. You have to pack up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
you
the hell
gotta pack
do
up
you do
the
on
shells.
a 155 howitzer with a shell in it?
No.
Ever heard of a bell rammer?
No.
Bell rammer is a great big long
Is it like a
pole,
pole?
a pole, and there's a big bell-shaped thing in the front of it that's used to go into a 155 howitzer, and with the shell in there hasn't been fired, you can bang it out.
Well, I wouldn't want to be on that end.
Yeah, right.
Even if you take the charge out, I still wouldn't want to be on that end.
Well, the funny thing part was that we're all packed up, ready to move out, and you can't move this 155 howitzer out of there. So they put a bell rammer down in there, open it up, and they fired the damn thing.
With the
Oh,
bell
jeez.
rammer in it?
And the bell rammer in there. And you can see
Now it's
this
an arrow.
thing whiz. and it evidently it came into the capital city. And they broke open the enemy. They ran.
Like, what kind of new round is this?
Oh, my
Well, you
goodness.
could see the damn thing going.
Yeah, I bet it's a weird pole.
So that was my introduction as we came in close to the Capitol.
Oh, that's funny.
As we go through,
That's
town-
called a miscommunication, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
There's something in the. Yeah, just fire it. Okay.
As we came through this little town, there's all these buildings in South Korea on the road, and I'm up in the truck. We're being driven towards the Capitol, and honest to God, we stopped in shacks along the road,
Yeah.
and the door opened, and a little girl came out of the shack,
Yeah.
and she ran and fell right underneath our damn truck as we took off.
Oh no.
Goodness.
And you could hear the explosion. And as they went over her head. It just squashed it.
No.
That was on our way into the capital city.
A
of
South Korean
South
child.
Korea. Yeah. Now we're told move out. They tell us where to go. Right after that, we were moving south and east, and they said they were looking for a brick factory,
Okay.
and we're going through, and we got all these burning buildings around us.
Sure.
Then we go out, and there's no burning buildings. We're seeing little towns that haven't been hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going and we're going and we're going, and it's getting close to the evening.
Yeah.
It's starting to get dark, and finally they stopped. And of course, our job was immediately to move out, cover
Set
the
a perimeter,
perimeter.
yeah.
Set up a perimeter for sure. Yeah.
And I can remember going up, and there was a kind of a hill, and there was 4 or 5 houses up on top of the hill, and I immediately went up there.
Yeah.
That's high ground.
Absolutely.
And Korean, and now we're in South Korea.
Sure.
It's coming out, and I communist. Oh, communists. We were completely surrounded,
Oh boy.
trying to find that brick factory. So for the next 3 days, we got hung in there. They showered that place planes all night long. Goddamn going around, and they're bombing the living bejeebers out of things. During the daytime, you could see the enemy. The enemy tried to surrender, and we wouldn't take them. Our military wouldn't take them.
There's nowhere to put him.
That's right. And I can remember it was in machine gun hole. We dig a hole, and we were 3 days. And at night, with bullets are going all over the damn place, and
Yeah, I mean,
we were 3
there's
days
an urban
like
warfare at that point.
That.
'Cause you're in the city, right? So,
Outside the, yeah, that's it.
type of city.
Yeah, outside of the city area.
Oh, outside. Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I see.
And they had tried to surrender, and our people wouldn't take them.
Huh.
And I can remember they supported us at night. Then during the daytime, you know, we could have all of the ammunition and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that was my introduction to something that wasn't nice.
Yeah, well, I could imagine it wasn't nice.
I can remember the third day, I could hear this rustling going on around the hill. So I turned on my 30 caliber machine gun down there ready to go. And I said, you know,
It's like a challenging password type thing.
password.
Yeah.
There's a password. And I heard this, what's the password? I'm sitting there with a machine gun, ready to blow things apart, and they finally come out. And so we were we were yeah.
Oh goodness.
So now because what's happening is the North is we're going south. The North's trying to get the hell out, and so what we're seeing is that we were there for 3 days, day and night, caught in that mess.
Yeah, because it was a crossing.
Yeah, and at one point in time, Lippy, because he World War II, he was with Carlson's Raiders.
Yeah.
So he was a godsend for us. The other boy, Jimmy, didn't. You know, he didn't know anything. He'd never seen combat.
Right.
I didn't know anything, and I can remember.
Well, Lippy did.
Oh yeah, because I can remember he and I were walking along the ground, and this great big huge wagon came in, and it was horses dragging it, and there was piles of chairs and blankets and stuff on top of it, and it's heading south. And Lippy was probably 30, 40 feet ahead of me, or yards, and the next thing I know, he is shooting the hell out of the place.
No.
And what it was the enemy had, and people coming out of that damn thing, well, there must have been 40, 50 bodies that were
Well, like
in
a
that.
Trojan horse, they were hiding in it. Yeah.
Yep, and they had put the blankets and stuff on top.
But he wasn't fooled.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and people need to realize too, our generation is spoiled with technology, night vision goggles, infrared, all the. You guys really had to go on
Nothing.
their instinct, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know, and I think because of how long we've had technology, we forget how hard it was for World War II guys, Korean guys, and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So
It's one of those things where you have to know, you have to sense that this isn't right. Why would there be something's not right, and
Yeah.
that's where Lippy's experience came through, and caught, and those North Korean military from going south.
Well, right after that, that was pretty much our. Next thing I know, we're on board ship,
Yeah.
and we're heading south. And then all of a sudden we're heading east. We must be going home. Then we're going north. What the hell?
Wait a minute, that's not home.
and we went for almost 3 days doing that. Ran out of food on the ship.
Well, yeah, that's not pleasant.
We had no idea what the hell was going on. We were in a minefield.
Oh.
North Koreans had completely. I mean, the ships were just crawling through the water. We're on there as troops. We had no idea what the hell was going on.
Right.
Going north, going south, going east. 3 days. We're out of food, and we finally got to Hamhung, which is the center of Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we unloaded the ship, and we're out there. What the hell are we doing here? We had no idea what was going on,
Oh, they're not going to tell you.
and it's getting cold now.
Yeah.
It's getting really cold.
Even for a Maine boy like you.
And I can remember at one point in time, there was you could look across the ground, and there was a dome out there. Jimmy is asleep, Lippy is asleep, and I'm on duty, and 30 caliber machine gun out there, and what the hell? Here's a guy coming across the yard, and he's doing this. And he's looking at my gun. You know, what the hell? And about that time, one of the guys woke up, for Christ's sakes, and this guy was a military man in the North Korean military,
Yeah.
and that was his dome house over there, and he cleaned out a machine gun because he would, you know, he's pointing, and Jimmy said, "Well, let him go and see what happens." And he took our damn machine gun apart, cleaned it, put it back together again.
Wow.
And I remember going to his
Okay.
home with him, and it was very interesting because it was the dome was there, and then the big deep cellar.
Oh, just get out of the cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his home.
Yeah.
That was his home, and introduced his family and everything. So he had been in the North Korean military, and we had no idea what the hell, you know.
But he wasn't fighting at that
No, he
time.
was not fighting. In fact, wait a minute, the damn watch had. I didn't have a watch. I had another old watch or some damn thing, and it wasn't working. And I remember, you know, doing this to it and showing it, you know, and he took my watch and he took off. 2 days later, he came back with a watch,
Huh.
and his feet were all bloody. So he was a North Korean military. But, you know, that was my introduction to North Korea.
People are still people.
The enemy is not always the enemy, and your allies are not always your allies.
Now we're hearing sounds. They're saying, "Hey, there's a lot of troops only coming into North Korea." Well, nobody knows anything. 2 or 3 days goes by, and I'm still sitting there on the gun. We're right next to the rail trains going by,
Yeah.
and when they went by, we would do this to them, and they throw something off the truck
To eat, yeah.
us to get to eat. And I remember crossing the small river that was there and walking up the hill. You know, I'd been there for 3 or 4 or 5 days. And I remember getting in there, and all of a sudden I came across a patch, a great big, huge burnt area, wood that was there. There were coals in there. And I said, what the hell is this? And all the time we've been hearing that the enemy was coming, the enemy was coming. And I remember coming back out of that damn place and going back and reporting what I had saw. Because there must have been probably 14, 15 people that was around that area that was that big.
Yeah. Those are the little
It
camp.
wasn't us.
Yeah.
So the North Koreans had infiltrated but had not yet exposed themselves.
They were
Yeah.
reconnaissance, reconning
Yes, absolutely.
with smokeless fire.
Yeah.
Pretty clever.
At one point in time, it was cold.
Yeah.
And I remember right close to where we were at down the hill, there was a enclosed area, some small buildings inside, very well kept, much better than what was outside.
Yeah.
And I remember going in through their gate, and of course I had my weapon at this time, and the guy's coming out of a building, and he and somehow I got it out, and I was cold. I got a stove, a small portable stove.
No kidding.
They gave it to me. and I took it back, and that's how we survived for the first week or so in North
No
Korea.
shit.
After that, we started moving north. Now, you go north in Korea, in the mountains.
Yeah.
On your left, we're looking down 1,000, 2,000 feet down.
Yeah.
And on our right, we're looking at the peaks of the hills.
Right.
And we're 6 bys, all of our transportation stuff going up there, and that road wasn't any wider than
Right in the
this
middle.
room.
Yeah.
Half this room. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And there was one bridge we crossed, went up north, kept going, and not knowing a damn thing. We had destroyed the North Korean army, military, because we didn't see them. And so we're going up, came several hours of trip, coming out here, and all these great big huge transformers had been pulled out and was in the side of the road.
Yeah.
And they had been trying to save them, military evidently, because they looked good.
Mm.
And so you figure out what the hell it is. I don't know.
Right.
But there was dams and stuff like that around.
Sure.
Kept on going, and I remember one of the things that really hit me is we'd see a place, flat ground area, built up a little bit, and you got like a wall all around,
Mm-hmm.
and we found out that where stop and go.
Yeah.
So we were
Yeah.
looking around at this thing. There'd be a hole as big as this whole area here,
Yeah.
and facing the road, all gun holes.
Oh, ambush spots.
Ambush,
Yeah.
ambush. All the way as we went north was there. And I remember finally we got to North Korea. We'd be in Russia
Right.
if we had took another step
Just
forward.
kept going.
And I can remember it was probably 30, 40 below zero
Oof.
at this point in time.
In the mountains too.
And we're in the mountains.
Yeah.
And I got sleeping. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was awake, and we were on a fire. There were about several of us.
Sure.
Had a nice fire out there. We felt good. And all of a sudden, they said, goddamn gunfire's coming off the mountain.
Mm.
Oh.
And the entire 10 divisions of North Koreans
Oof.
was coming at. And I can remember at one point in time, it was really fascinating, looking across, and I'm not on the main line, I'm back, but I was supposed to be in the second support group.
Right.
And
Pretty
I
close.
can remember a great big huge water truck sitting out there, and the bullets are flying off. It's all lit up, and there was a Marine out there, had a cigar in his mouth, he wipes the match across the steel of the water truck, and lights his cigar, and the bullets are going into the damn gun. That was my introduction to North Korea.
Smoking a cigar.
The army.
He's just like, yeah.
It was like, just unbelievable.
I mean, what are you gonna do at that point?
Yeah,
When you need a cigar, you need a cigar.
a salty dog for sure.
So we fought. And they said, "Oh, we get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
They told us to pull back. So the places to go was Hagaruri, Kodori, and Udamni were the three major areas
Sure.
that we had gone through. There was words that the Marine, the British Royal Marines was out there
Right.
with us.
Yeah.
And I can remember at one point in time at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or some damn thing, they're kicking me to hell in my feet. And I'd gone to sleep out on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Got me up, and they said, we're getting back to Hagaroo-Ree. And of course, my outfit is 155 howitzers.
Yeah.
So we're not frontline troopers.
No, you're back because the guns are back.
But at 3 o'clock in the morning, we're out there with a bunch of guys around the fire when that broke open.
Yeah.
And I can remember they're saying, get the hell out, scatter. And I can remember the big hole that we had passed going in to the north area. And I said, oh my God, machine gun fires are coming down. One of our brigades were up on the top of the hill, they were fighting. And I can remember thinking, Jesus, we got to get to Hagaroo-Ree. Kodo-Ree, that's area. And it was, probably 2 days. We were fighting on that damn thing to get there.
To get back.
Yeah, and when we got there, I'm sitting there saying, hey, this is safe. We were bore sighting 155 howitzers. Bore sight,
That's
Yeah.
pretty close.
360 degrees
Ooh.
around. We were completely surrounded.
That's surrounded and close.
Yeah, complete.
If you're bore sighting 155s, I was in a 155 unit in the Army. If you're bore sighting, they're right there.
Yes.
They're
And
right there.
Now there was a long line of great big huge crates that was our supplies.
Yeah.
And we had ammunition in there, we had uniforms in there, we had all kinds of crap, medicine, whatever. And I would dare say that was a football field length long.
Sure.
Great big huge line of it. And I was standing there at one point in time the following day. Fighting's going on all around us in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember looking up at the sky, and here's a new airplane, not a Corsair,
Right.
brand new one. And I said, hey, that's an American ship coming. And he circled in, and the next thing I know, this goddamn big huge thing comes out, napalm bomb. And I'm sitting there looking at the damn thing as it went by me, and it hit on the other side of that long line of
Supplies and
truck-
stuff, yeah.
crates and stuff that had our supplies, and it just, and I know what in the holy hell.
But it didn't hit your supplies.
No,
It was protecting your
just
supplies.
Went on the side of
Oh,
the same
yeah.
line,
Oof.
and they were probably 40, 50 feet wide that the thing hit. And I never heard of a goddamn thing. And what the hell's a napalm bomb? I had
Yeah.
no idea what.
Until it went
was.
off.
That was my introduction.
Yeah. That's you were close.
And at this time, we was going south. And I remember we crossed the bridge, and we were on the other side of the river,
Mm-hmm.
heading south, and looked out there, and all of a sudden the thousands of troops came into that area. I mean, you can't believe how many people. There were
No.
thousands of them that would hit. And looked up, and here was a whole series of planes
With
coming
those
in,
napalm
probably 4
bombs?
or 5 airplanes,
Yeah.
bombers, and they're going to bomb
Those troops.
those troops.
Oof.
And all of a sudden, that whole area just exploded from one end to the other. So they had cooked it up.
Wow. All of those soldiers.
Yeah, they couldn't carry it out, the stuff. And there were uniforms in there, there was ammunition in there was medicine, there was
Because you don't
all
want the
kinds of-
enemy to get it.
But
Yeah.
you didn't want to fall into their hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
And they had it all mined. So the bombers never dropped a bomb.
so was it.
I was sitting there looking, they're going to get there because I was standing there
You're
when
like, oh,
that
they're gonna
napalm
get all
came
our
down.
supplies. No. Oops.